So it seems that Josh Hosang's time with the New York Islanders is pretty much officially coming to an end. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe. Let's take a look at what's going on with Josh Hosang and the New York Islanders. So earlier this week, Josh Hosang was one of many players that was put on the waiver wire. He cleared waivers and he did not report to the American Hockey League team, the Bridgeport Sound Tigers, the Islanders AHL affiliate. Thomas Hickey and Tanner Fritz, who were also placed on waivers for the Islanders, were able to make training camp. Hosang did not go. Just a little bit of a background on Josh Hosang. He's a 2014 former first-round pick, picked at 28th overall. It was a big deal. Garth Snow traded up for this draft pick, a pick they traded for with the Tampa Bay Lightning, which the Rangers traded that pick to the Tampa Bay Lightning. So a former Ranger draft pick going to the Islanders. A little bit of a background on that. He's now 23 years old now at this point, so he's not as young of a player as he was when he was drafted at 18. 24 points in 53 NHL games in his career as a New York Islander. In the American Hockey League, he's put up 84 points in 156 games in the American Hockey League. So, numbers are nothing great, really, for Josh Hosang. He's a -4 in the NHL, and, these are things that may be more about what he does off the ice than what he does on the ice, and his on-ice product has been nothing super spectacular. He's been known to have a little bit of an attitude issue, and unfortunately that may have costed him a chance this year. He was fighting an uphill battle starting this year. You look at some of the youth the Islanders have been picking up over the years: Kiefer Bellows, Oliver Wahlstrom, Simona Ostrom. It doesn't leave much room for a guy like Hosang to be maybe saying things he shouldn't be saying in the media, and, maybe the bad taste he left in the mouth of management still in there, and he's not found a way to get things going. So with that, what are some destinations that we could see Josh Hosang heading to, because now he's asked for a trade. Lou Lamoriello has supposedly told Josh Hosang, just wait a couple of weeks, or a couple of days. We'll figure something out. We'll try and get you moved, but we have to look for a team that's willing to do that. Don't report to the American Hockey League. We'll find a way to make something work, and just try not to get injured so we can make a deal. So, a couple of teams that I looked at across the NHL, looking across some lineups, the starting lineup, what they look like, and where Josh Hosang could possibly fit in. So, this team's a little bit of a long shot based off of, Hosang would likely want to play in the top 6 in the NHL. He may not get that opportunity, but on a team like the Sharks, he could be getting maybe that third line, time, and maybe moving up if there's injuries. And the San Jose Sharks, Doug Wilson has been known to pick up guys with quote-unquote attitude issues. We saw how it's worked with Evander Kane. He's been suspended, but he definitely produces, and the San Jose Sharks have been one of the top teams in their division, really in the Western Conference, going pretty far last year. This has been a very successful team, so maybe that environment could help a guy like Josh Hosang. Another team I saw was the Montreal Canadiens. I think the Canadiens could use a little bit of help up front in that top 6. They've got some really young, promising guys coming up. But now, possibly with Drouin being on the move and them looking for another center, they could also be looking for a guy to play the wing as well, and a guy like Hosang. And a guy like Hosang. Another team I took a look at were the Detroit Red Wings. Steve Yzerman has his hands full with that team there in Detroit, and it seems like a fairly slow team. You've got guys like, and no offense to these players, but you've got guys like Adam Ernie in the top 6. There's a spot where Josh Hosang could slot into the top 6 in Detroit. They want to get younger, they want to get faster and more skilled. A guy like Josh Hosang could possibly add that. He could play on that second line there with a guy like Franz Nielsen, who is a good leadership guy and could help lead Hosang moving forward. And then the last team that I saw could be an interesting fit is the Los Angeles Kings. Kind of the same thing with the Detroit Red Wings. They're a little bit older. They're a little bit behind in their rebuild compared to a team like Detroit. They still think they could win this. They aren't. This is going to be a tough year for the Kings. I think a guy like Hosang could add some skill up front, and he's got the speed. And man, if you give him you get him in the right situation, he could be a really good player. Now, again, attitude issues in a city like LA. It's a big city. A lot of things can happen in LA. May not be the best place for him, but maybe going across the country is just what Josh Hosang could use. You look at that top six for the Kings, it's fairly slow. You've got Dustin Brown, Jeff Carter, guys like that. They're a little bit older, they're a little bit slower, and maybe they'd be a good mentor for a guy like Josh Hosang. And that's pretty much it for Josh Hosang. Let me know in the comment section down below, where do you think Josh Hosang is likely to get traded? He just cleared waivers, so I wonder, how interested is a team going to be in, picking up a guy like Hosang? It would have to be probably like a waiver guy for a waiver guy situation. I'd assume the team doesn't want to take up a roster spot for Hosang if they don't think he can play in the NHL. So it's going to be a little bit of moving around here. We've got to see what Lou Lamoriello is going to try and do to figure this out. So let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.